recoil in horror when we see the images from the Middle East of kids to whom talking is still a relatively new phenomenon, being flooded in religious beliefs, being told they may have to die like warriors for God, speaking in literal gibberish. Our third story in the countdown, it's terrorist indoctrination when we see it there. Here we call it Jesus Camp. Countdown's Monica Novotny explains. Good evening, Monica.
Keith, good evening. The filmmakers behind this documentary boiled down 300 hours of footage into a controversial 85 minutes, taking viewers inside a Bible camp where the next generation of God's army is in training. And Jesus Camp already has the 100 million American evangelical Christians split over the intersection of their religion, their politics, and their children.
This means war! Are you a part of it or not?
It's summer camp like you've never seen it. This evangelical conference for young children captured in the new documentary Jesus Camp, focusing on an American culture war and the training of a new generation of Christian soldiers.
I want to see young people who are as committed to the cause of Jesus Christ as the young people are to the cause of Islam. Because, excuse me, but we have the truth. Oh, we love you, Jesus. So
Pastor Becky Fisher leads the children at Devil's Lake, North Dakota, playing at war.
You're kind of being trained to be warriors, only in a much funner way.
Preaching in tongues and in tears. Praying for the president and for an end to abortion.
No more! No more!
But Fisher says the goal of this spiritual battle is not to attack the separation of church and state.
there are no Christians, and I know thousands of them, that are interested in establishing a theocracy in America.
And those presidential prayers?
Had this conference taken place during the Clinton administration, we would have been as obligated by Scripture to pray for him as we were to pray for President Bush.
Instead, Fisher says her work with these children is part of a growing evangelical youth movement designed simply to keep young, born-again Christians active in the church as they grow older. But are they, as some critics charge, brainwashing impressionable, vulnerable young children with religious and political agendas?
Every parent brainwashes their kids with their own beliefs. So let's be fair.
A person's a person, no matter how small.
We never viewed what we were doing as political. And I am certainly not living out my political fantasies through the children that I minister to.
But I think people would say this is a voting bloc.
So they're going to be a voting bloc. Why is that scary?
Heidi and I definitely saw it as political activism, but they are sincere in believing what they're doing is being good Christians. I do believe that the leadership see what they're doing as political.
A belief reinforced by Pastor Ted Haggard, president of the National Association of Evangelicals, expressing pride in the expansion of the youth movement, offering perhaps the most candid and confident moment in Jesus Camp.
It's got enough growth to essentially sway every election. If the evangelicals vote, they determine the election. It's a fabulous life.
Pastor Haggard, who you just saw there, leads the largest evangelical group in America with some 30 million members. He agreed to be filmed for the project, but says now that he's not happy with the final product and is encouraging his followers not to see it. As for Pastor Fisher and her political concerns, I asked her how she would feel if any of these children grew up and chose to vote or work with political parties other than Republicans. And she says she'd have absolutely no problem with that she just wants to help them be good Christians regardless of their personal political views. If you're curious, Jesus Camp opens in major cities tomorrow and then throughout the country next Friday.
Every parent brainwashes their children, meaning her parents brainwashed her. Countdown's Monica Novotny. Great, thanks.